Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Good Boxing Podcast with your host, Josh Saez. And I'm going to jump right into this episode. Boxing's been kind of dead, but the news is ramping up, and I just wanted to touch on a few different things. Specifically, my first episode back after a long hiatus is going to be about the biggest draw from the UK, and honestly might be the biggest draw in boxing, and that's Anthony Joshua. The last time we saw Anthony Joshua out there, you saw him masterfully get outwitted and outboxed by a technician in Usyk. Ever since that defeat, it seems like the Anthony Joshua camp has decided to disband, and Anthony Joshua has been traveling the world looking for a new answer to Usyk. Now, the million-dollar question is, will Anthony Joshua actually get the job done? Can he get the job done? And can he do it in such a short amount of time? The first fight, I don't think it was very close. I think Usyk completely dominated the fight, and there wasn't really much for Anthony Joshua to really build on. He tried outboxing Usyk. It didn't work. And in that last round, I think Usyk finally realized that Anthony Joshua was struggling to take his power. And if he really put his foot on the gas earlier in the fight, I think he could have gotten Anthony Joshua out of there. But you've heard many rumors. Anthony Joshua was going to train with Canelo. He was going to maybe check out Virgil Hunter. He literally saw a bunch of different trainers. There's been rumors he was going to work with Rigondeaux's trainer, Charlo's trainer. It just kept spiraling out of control. The news in Anthony Joshua's camp took, in my opinion, a turn for the worse when a rumor started that Anthony Joshua was going to take $15 million to step aside. And in my opinion, when I heard the news or read the news, I got it from social media. And I'm not going to lie to you. Boxing social media accounts, boxing rumors spread like wildfire. I mean, if you look at who Gervonta Tank Davis is supposed to fight, if you look at who George Gambosos is supposed to fight, if you look at who Loma is going to fight, if you even look at who Ryan Garcia is going to fight, rumors are constantly spread, and truthfully, it's kind of what made this a little hard for me in general, because I got tired of being such a reactive channel. When there was ever a new rumor, you would come out and try to make a video, try to be first to get the views, and try to just get engagement in these rumors. But after a while of being burned over and over again, I felt when I read this rumor that I wanted to just take a second and let it marinate a little bit before I opine on it. And immediately when I saw $15 million, I'm like, damn, Anthony Joshua, you're really going to, in my opinion, one, I get financially $15 million. I don't care how rich you are, $15 million is still $15 million. Anthony Joshua, all he has to do is get out the way and let Tyson Fury fight Alexander Usyk. You get $15 million. The average man will be like, all right, sure, sign me up. But in my opinion, Anthony Joshua, being the fighter that he is, being the man that likes to rectify any unfinished business like he did with Andy Ruiz after his first loss, I figured he would give another shot at Usyk. I figured he would want to actually see if he could come up with a game plan that could maybe bother Usyk and do better. However, upon further review, Anthony Joshua came out and decided to say, hey, I've heard nothing about this $15 million. There's no contract. I haven't said anything. You guys need to stop putting out rumors. If you're not hearing it from me, it is not true. So I figured maybe it was a rumor. But then another rumor comes out. Dillian Whyte, who was supposed to be the mandatory for Tyson Fury, was also offered $5 million to step aside. So now there's $20 million being put up in order to clear the way for a potential undisputed fight, which seems to be the flavor of this decade. Undisputed seems to be the goal of all the champions in boxing, because when you are undisputed, you become more of a draw. People know who you are, and that momentum of having all the belts in your division gives you all the cards. I mean, who can really fault anyone for trying to be undisputed champion, especially in this era where people are getting paid a lot of money? But in terms of intelligence and doing the smart move and making the smart move, it makes perfect sense to take step aside money. I just don't know if for Anthony Joshua, if he'll ever recover or if he'll ever be able to remove the stain of stepping aside. You lost 3 belts to Alexander Usyk, which is no slouch. Usyk beats, in my opinion, the majority of the heavyweights in the division. I do think Dillian White, who may just throw the kitchen sink at him and not really care, can maybe get him out, catch him with one punch. I do think Tyson Fury is a little too much for him. I think someone like the Cuban Flash, who's small, compact, and very tricky, and a very decorated amateur who comes from a Cuban program, who won't be as befuddled by the angles that Usyk presents, can give him trouble. But Usyk is no scrub. So I think if Anthony Joshua were to fight Usyk again and lose, I don't think his career is done. He may not be the front runner for a title shot for Undisputed, but I do think Anthony Joshua can rebound. I mean, there's a Deontay Wilder fight out there. There's another Andy Ruiz fight out there. You have a fight with Joseph Parker again. You have several fights that people will want to see. Dillian White, Anthony Joshua, do it again. So you still have a career. I know it's not going to be Tyson Fury versus AJ, but if he steps aside, they're just going to keep labeling him soft. And in my opinion, I'm not going to call Anthony Joshua soft, but in terms of relativity in the division, he's going to have this aura of softness. I'm sorry. If you just take your L, move on, take the money, and wait to maybe get a chance, because, I mean, let's think about it logically. Maybe he should wait, right? Usyk, Fury fight. I'm assuming there's going to be a rematch clause. They fight. Fury wins. I think Fury would fight Joshua next because it makes sense. All UK, big fight, big name, right off into the sunset. Usyk wins. Fury's probably going to fight Usyk again. Who's to say Usyk won't fight Anthony Joshua again? So I understand why he may want to take the money, because I don't think he'll beat Usyk in a rematch. I think Usyk won't really respond well to his pressure. Anthony Joshua's not this tremendous, high-paced pressure fighter like an Andy Ruiz or someone who will pressure you the entire time. Even Joseph Parker, to a certain degree, in that fight with Fa, showed he can pressure, shows he throws punches. I think he's a little faster on his feet. I mean, Dillian White is another guy that he can go forward, throw big bombs, or stay on the outside, outbox Usyk and make him run into something. I could see that being a problem for Usyk. But Anthony Joshua standing there with his hands up, trying to hit him to the body, go forward with the jab, try to cut the ring off. I just don't think that's his fight. And an old Vladimir Klitschko was able to keep him out. And sure, he got touched, but this was old Klitschko. This wasn't the Klitschko of when he was dominating everyone. So I don't know. Anthony Joshua, to me, sometimes just always gets a bad rap because he's always put in these precarious positions where he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. If he doesn't fight Usyk again, in my opinion, he's going to be labeled soft, and that stink of softness is going to stick around. However, if he chooses to fight Usyk and then loses, then he kind of falls to the back of the pack, in my opinion. But in the pursuit of greatness, is he trying to be safe? He's fought really good guys his whole career. He even took a chance to fight Usyk. That's a guy that wants to prove himself and prove that he's a great one. And I just hope whatever happens, Anthony Joshua is very careful with his legacy. Because after the Andy Ruiz fight, he came back, shut up, didn't really say much, got back in the gym, started training, and dominated Andy Ruiz in that rematch, vindicated himself. In this fight, I wish he would just work in silence, which maybe he is, but no one knows who is his trainer. I haven't seen one video of Anthony Joshua boxing. I've seen him wrestling. I've seen him do a bunch of different things, but I really haven't seen much of what he's trying to do in the gym. I've seen Mayweather train him. I don't know. Anthony Joshua seems to be a mess. But again, I'm not behind the scenes. No one's really behind the scenes. We don't really know what Anthony Joshua's going through. But in my opinion, and again, it's just my opinion. Who cares what I got to say, right? I think Anthony Joshua has to fight Usyk again. I know everyone wants to see Undisputed. Somehow they're going to spin it like, oh, hey, this is for the fans. For once in your life, Anthony Joshua, fuck the fans, fuck them, and fight for your career. Go for greatness. Go for what you want. If you lose again, there's no shame in that. But for you to admit that you don't think you can beat Usyk in a rematch, and you're going to take step-aside money unless they guarantee you that you are next in line for the Undisputed Championship. No rematch, hey, wait, unless they guarantee you that you are the next one in line for the Undisputed belt, which I doubt they'll do. Go fight for your belt. Go win or lose. Go fight for what you feel is yours and vindicate yourself again. You've done it once before. I personally don't think you're going to win, and that's no indictment to you. I just think Usyk is the better fighter, and in my opinion, I think you could win if you had more time, but to beat him by April, that's going to be a tall task, and I just don't see it. But go down on your sword. Go down with your legacy. The man that fought everyone, the man that dared to be great, the man that tried to be a great heavyweight, the man that fought the Dillian Whites, fought Klitschko, fought everyone, for the exception of Wilder and Fury. Politics, I get it. Things happen. But you fought the fight with Andy Ruiz. You took him last minute after Big Baby tested positive for the whole kitchen sink. But be that Joshua, the guy that stepped in to fight Usyk. Keep that bravado. Keep your legacy intact. And for me as a fan, as someone that's spectating, I would have a hell of a lot more respect if you try to make what's right and you lose, then you step aside and admit that Usyk is just better than you. And it's not a warranted risk. I don't think you go into fights thinking you're going to lose, and this is one that I don't think you should lose. I think you could certainly win and get it back. Well, this is the first episode back. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you for all the support. I do implore you that if you like the podcast, please feel free to leave a review on Spotify. It really helps the channel. And expect more content. Little by little, I'm getting back into it, and I'm feeling the flow again. So it will come. Thank you again, and I appreciate it.